Have you ever heard anyone refer to anyone as appearing stoic or acting in a stoic manner or being stoic in nature? Welcome, my friends, to the Steele Mindset. I am Joe Steele. There are times when I am photographing people in a portrait photography sessions where I ask them to give me a stoic look, kind of something like this. Yeah, something like that. Listen, I bet many of you didn't know the term Stoic actually is derived from a real philosophy of Stoicism that originated around 300 BC as an ancient Greek philosophy practice of the time that also spread to the Roman Empire. That's pretty damn incredible that it is so powerful of a message that it is still alive and studied by online communities, numbering over 100,000 participants and growing. Fascinates me. I feel that society can benefit from understanding their message that we follow every day and don't even know it. To my viewers, this episode is my report of the teachings of Stoicism for intrigue and entertainment only, not meant to be a quick fix for issues or situations you may have. But hopefully it will give you some valuable tips, so enjoy. It's going to be a fun one. First, let's get you the professional definition of Stoicism. All right, Stoicism is an ancient Greek and Roman philosophy that emphasizes cultivating self-control, fortitude, and virtue to overcome destructive emotions and live in accordance with nature, focusing on what's within our control while accepting what's beyond it. The four main virtues of Stoicism are courage, temperance or moderation, justice, and wisdom. I will make this a multi-part series that will go into a playlist as it has many factors of discussions. For this episode 1, we will focus on Stoic wisdom. You shouldn't be surprised to recognize many of their benefits and teachings of today that you will have heard before. I sincerely believe that many of our moral and life's lessons come from Stoic philosophy. I mean, listen, we're talking about 2,000 somewhat years ago, where its foundations lie for people to borrow, live, and learn from. In Stoic philosophy, wisdom is simply the ability to distinguish between what is good, bad, and indifferent, and in turn to use that knowledge to make sound judgments and live a virtuous life, ultimately leading to inner peace and contentment in your surroundings. What seems like a generally simple way of living is rarely achieved, as it is difficult to achieve in today's society. Achieving Stoic wisdom for self-fulfillment is challenging because it requires constant self-reflection, emotional regulation, and acceptance of what is beyond our control, which is often at odds with our natural human tendencies. And that's just it. Our natural human tendencies. Now, here are 6 powerful practices that will help us approach a higher than human status or more closely achieve the pathway to Stoic wisdom. Number 1, focus on what you can control. Stoicism emphasizes focusing on all your thoughts and energy to actions and virtues rather than dwell on external events or outcomes which are often beyond our control. This requires a conscious effort to shift your focus and accept what you cannot change, which can be very difficult. It's about the release. It's about letting go. It's about accepting the fact that we will not win or achieve what we want all the time, but instead moving forward with acceptance of your natural abilities instead of dealing in regret and remorse of what could have been. Focus on what will be. 2, emotional regulation. Stoics survive by something called emotional equanimity, meaning they aim to control their emotional reactions to events. To be truly a Stoic person is to be in total control of your emotions rather than have them control you or to have them sway your actions or resolve. This requires constant practice or self-awareness to identify, manage negative emotions. For instance, do not let yourself be in a situation where your anger alone will force your path. That is not in the best interest of the situation at hand. Instead, with a level, focused mind, you are in a sense emotionless but full of resolve and productivity. There will be a time for justice in later lessons. Number 3, virtue as the only good. Now, Stoicism teaches that virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance is the only true good, and the external factors like wealth, health, and reputation are indifferent. This can be a difficult concept to grasp, as we often associate happiness and fulfillment with external achievements in a society that worships at the altar of the rich and powerful for the only way to achieve true happiness. This may seem like an impossible task. Having all the wealth in the world without a true sense of strong virtue is not a good life, according to Stoicism. Achieve what you are able to at its highest level, but always keep first your wisdom, courageous behavior, justice when needed, and temperance to restraint from the evil of overindulgence. Number 4, detach yourself from the limitations of natural human tendencies. Humans are naturally prone to attachment to external things and outcomes, which makes it difficult to detach from them and focus on what is truly within our control. This inherent human tendency can be a significant obstacle to achieve Stoic wisdom. To be Stoic is to demand an individual to be more than human, to rise above others, to be an example of how humanity should experience, accept, act, and move on. Number 5, the journey, not the destination. This has been repeated thousands of times. I am sure we are all familiar. Stoicism emphasizes the process of living a virtuous life as being uber important. Rather than focusing on achieving a specific outcome or goal, this can be frustrating for those who are outcome-oriented. Stoicism requires a shift in perspective, a focus on the present moment. According to the philosophy, live the virtuous life and let the destination come, whatever it may be. 6, the importance of self-reflection. Stoicism requires constant self-reflection and examination of one's thoughts, actions, and motivations. Stoicism challenges us to introspect, to have willingness to confront one's weakness and shortcomings. After self-reflection, I believe Stoicism is telling us if we are not strong enough, knowledgeable enough to remove an obstacle in front of us with a level mind, find a way to get around it. There are many ways you can interpret Stoic wisdom. I will approach it in the following way. It's about time. The time we spend in life is extremely precious and should never, ever be taken for granted. It should always be important and should never be wasted. We should know immediately, through virtue, what is right and what is just. To learn to change what can be changed, to improve what can be improved, and to accept and decide what is beyond our control. Instead of wasting precious time harping on what we are unable to do, find what we can do to demolish obstacles in our path. It's about human life and human time, to always use it to its fullest, most productive potential. Powerful stuff here, guys. Of course, not all can be practical and possible in all situations, but at the minimum, to adapt the core principles of wisdom of Stoicism is to find inner peace, contentment, and acceptance conveyed in our actions. There are many more episodes coming in the topic of living with Stoicism, so I hope you enjoyed this piece and got something from my reporting to you of these teachings that will help you be a more content, fulfilled, and focus-minded person. So basically, guys, there is only one more thing to be said. Go out and live your best life. Until the next episode, my friends, Joe Steele out. Peace to you all. Ciao.